Hi guys, this is going to be a reading on how you can ground yourself and calm yourself more, just in general. Pile 1 is going to be this scrunchie. It has a bunch of little flowers and like village people on it. Pile 2 is going to be this baseball bat that says Mitch on it, and it's also a pen. And the third pile is going to be this necklace chain that I wore for a long time, but it broke, and so now I keep it on my altar. Hi pile 1, if you chose this scrunchie, this is going to be a reading on how to ground yourself and calm yourself more. How can pile 1 ground themselves? How can pile 1 ground themselves in a way that makes them more confident and at ease with themselves? We have 8 of Cups. How can pile 1 ground themselves more? 7 of Wands. Eight of Wands. 2 of Swords. The Moon. And 5 of Wands. So we have both the Wands cards of fighting, 7 of Wands and 5 of Wands here. Also Wands is the most seen here. So breath work, Wands is fire. Fire energy comes from breath work. If y'all seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, y'all know what I'm talking about. Taking deep breaths and syncing your movements with your breath is very helpful towards you to help you be more like mindful of your senses in your body, pile 1. You might benefit from taking up yoga or something, because yoga, and when you do yoga, that's you like flow, you let the energy, you like push the energy through your body, and you use your breath to sort of channel it. So just doing yoga in the mornings or stretching in the mornings and like doing breath work while you do that would help relax you just to start your day, or doing it before you go to bed, or before you do your work or something. And it's not just yoga or stretching, like just even in just a moment of like having a lot of anxiety or stress or negative energy, just focusing on your breath and focusing on your movements through your breath, so you can just calm down and like take very deep breaths, not just like do any sort of breath work. Like take deep breaths, or even look up breath work or breathing technique videos on YouTube that can help you. I think of this one guy who I saw making videos where he would be doing like a guided breathwork thing, and he'd be doing sound bowls at the same time, and it was just very relaxing, and it helped me just ground myself and feel more like here and in the now. So moving on with the 8 of Cups, moving on from emotional situations, defending your truth with the 7 of Wands here, defending your perspective, defending your truth, Protecting your shadow side, protecting your inner child. Speaking, not only defending your truth, but speaking your truth. With the Eight of Wands here, you need to speak your truth and like don't be hesitant about it. Just do it. Keep a balanced mindset, or keep both sides of the situation in mind, or keep both paths you want to take in mind. Like, it's almost like you need to be two-minded in these situations, where you need to have like Gemini energy sort of helps ground you for whatever reason, of just like being able to see from the light and the dark at the same time, or just to be able to balance your light and dark sides in your mindset. Just keep a balanced perspective on the situation. Or if you feel anxious about something or you feel unsure, try and like look over the whole situation and see the bigger picture to find a balanced perspective, so you can feel more because it's less like, I feel like a huge part of your problem with like being ungrounded is feeling like you can't make a choice, or you are really indecisive, or you try to make a choice but it ends up going the opposite way you wanted it to. I feel like you need to stop trying to force the energy of going on a specific path, or like trying to do something a specific way, and instead just like let your mindset shift, because you're kind of like, when you're at your baseline, your mindset just sort of like switches out really fast between light and dark. But when you're trying to force it, it's like you're only holding onto the dark side, or then you're only holding onto the light side. And you'll switch out between that. It's not like you're always only doing dark things or always only doing light things. It's just like when you're trying too hard to do something, you're only focusing on one side of the situation. And I feel like just letting things happen sort of lets you see the passivity, see the observation, just like watch yourself observing, while also the other part of you is taking the action. And with the Five of Wands here, like, you need to let go, to ground yourself. Let go. Like, just let go. Focus on what the problem is, what's keeping you ungrounded. Focus on what's stressing you out, like all of it. What is stressing you out? Eliminate what about those stressful things is not important. Eliminate all the non-important stressful things and focus only on the real reasons to be stressed, or the real problems that you have the ability to change right now, or reflect on right now, and it isn't outside of your control. A huge part of grounding yourself is being able to let go of things that are out of your control and just focus on the problems that are in your hands, with the Five of Wands here. I'm also hearing like, when you slip into that space where you're like letting people walk all over you, or you're just sort of more submissive, or you're like, you don't really want to speak up for yourself, that's like keeping you from being like calm within yourself. It's like you get all anxious, and I think it's has something to do with a karmic cycle. I think to ground yourself, you just need to like focus on your perspective, focus on where you're coming from. Don't think about what anybody else's perspective is. Don't think about what their thoughts on it are. Don't think about like their reality. Just focus on your reality and what you are trying to do with that, or like what you're trying to put out in that moment, or what you're trying to like reflect on and fix in yourself in that moment. Because there's a lot of energy of reflection here with the moon. It's like you can get really deep into like reflecting over yourself and like overthinking your own actions, seeing deeper into your own actions than others would like normally see or casually see. I'm also feeling like if you do something and it doesn't go your way, or like not your way, if you do something and it doesn't go the way you planned, you can feel a little bit like out of control or having lack of control, and that can keep you ungrounded because you'll be grounded, you'll be good and you'll be grounded, and then you'll be like looking at yourself too much and you'll be overthinking it too much and you'll be like, wait a minute, no, I'm not grounded, I can't do this. You'll like slip in and out of it basically, and that's fine. That's your sort of baseline, is slipping in and out of that. But it's like you get so like caught up in the fact that you slip in and out of it and that you're not always like on your best, that it like makes you feel like you have to like choose one or the other. You don't have to like choose one or the other. You can let yourself slip in and out of that focused headspace. You just have to let it happen instead of forcing it to be one way. Because like if you try to plan it to be a certain way, it always comes back on you, and then it always ends up frustrating you. So you just kind of have to let it happen on its own. I'm also seeing that you are the type of person to get to be really in your head, or not even in your head, you just like, you see things from a perspective of really like the subconscious world. You're just really intuitive and you take a lot of information, and you can be really caught up in all of those things and all of those details. And to stay grounded with that, you need to like, to be able to stay grounded with that, there's a lot that you could do. I think most of all, just sort of be passive. Meditating, like you have a lot of information coming in at once because you're intuitive and you can never turn that power off. So to remedy the overwhelming feelings you get, or the tenseness that can come into your body because of how much you're receiving, just relax and try not to let anything come into your mind. Just like let things come and go as they may. That's just what meditation is, but it can, like, I feel like you can overthink it sometimes to the point where like you get so deep into your imagination or a scenario, when you really just need to take a step back and see how this reflects in the real world, or how much these musings are mattering to your purpose and your actions right now. I think you have a strong potential to see deeply into the subconscious worlds, and like you have a strong connection with the moon, and just magic in general. But because of that, you can just get a little bit like crazy with it sometimes, or you can get like a little bit like people won't know what you're talking about because you'll be talking about a world that they can't see, because it's kind of, not everybody can see the subconscious world the way you do because you see it on a very deep level. So you get really caught up in it and you'll be talking and people won't be understanding you. So you just need to like ground yourself more by like seeing how these things reflect in the material world, so you can connect and communicate that more. You can connect those two worlds and communicate that message more, because you're sort of the type of person to be taking the spiritual and putting in the material instead of the opposite. So yeah, just use your subconscious knowing, like all knowing, and connect it to how you know that affects the material world, to ground yourself more when like you're talking to people or when you're trying to express these abstract ideas and you feel like you're not making any sense. I'm also feeling like some of you have like a problem with the way you look or the way you come off or the way your energy is, or like something about beauty or the lack thereof. Like some of you feel like you're really ugly, some of you feel like you need to be pretty, like I don't know, or you need to be attractive to others. I'm feeling like you need to ground yourself more and to make yourself feel more calm. You would have to just accept cringiness, accept awkwardness, accept ugliness or imperfection, because you're gonna have both, whether you try it to or not, or try to have just one. And it's like there are moments to be beautiful and there are moments to be ugly, and it's like everyone's a fool sometimes. You just have to accept that you can't always be perfect, or you can't always do the right thing, you know? Maybe some of you have more of a problem with your shadow side or the ugly parts of you, and you just need to reflect on that and like start seeing why you have a problem with that, why those things stress you out, and maybe start forgiving yourself for that and loving yourself more because you understand now why those things bother you upon reflecting upon it. And you know that it's okay to be cringy and awkward, and you don't have to be anxious anytime you think, oh wait, am I being cringy? Am I being ugly? Like, think about how many times you've judged someone for, like, being over the top or crossing your boundaries or saying something rude or stupid. Everybody does it, you know? Not everything gotta be beautiful. That's what makes the beauty in life so real and raw. But yeah, to wrap it up, focus on your dreams. Focus on your dreams, why those are your dreams, why you're going towards those dreams, why that's important to you. Because that can keep you grounded on your goals and keep you committed on your self-growth and self-improvement, because you know you're heading towards that path and why you're heading towards that path. I'm hearing you know more than enough about your subconscious world. You should, or not that you know more than enough. I feel like you can affect the subconscious world on a large level. You should try and like expand your branches by testing out your powers on the material world or on material things, or material concepts. Fight for what you believe in. Don't let any shit talk. Like, bro, don't be giving shit talkers the time of day. Don't be giving haters the time of day. But at the same time, do not let anybody defame your name. Don't let anybody be spreading lies about you. Like, there's a difference between gossip and drama and rumors and defamation. So some of you might have dealt with or are dealing with somebody who's fighting you or causing you a lot of stress by spreading something about you in some way. And Spirit is saying, don't give up this fight. Don't give up your truth. You're not wrong at all for wanting to speak your truth. Just be selective about how you give this person energy. Give as little as possible with as much quality as possible. Quality over quantity. And by quality, I mean like kick their ass long and hard with just a simple sentence. That's all you need. Scorpio energy. Don't be afraid to, if you aren't able to make a decision. Don't be afraid if you don't know where you want to go in life. Don't be afraid about being indecisive. Let things happen as they may, because that's just how life happens for you. And you ground yourself when you are just observing things as they come and letting things happen, instead of trying to make them go this way or that way. You can't really force that. Speak your feelings. talk about your feelings. If you're feeling stressed, talk about it to someone. If you're feeling like overwhelmed, talk about it to someone. This will help ground you by making you reflect on and realize where your feelings are coming from, because you're actually speaking it out into existence, and help you realize sort of the root of the problem so you can simplify it and stop feeling like it's so in your head and like you're trapped with it in your head. Speaking things out into existence can make you feel, can be very freeing, or can free those energies from you that you felt like you were keeping to yourself. Your perspective is meant to change the world, so don't like back down with it. A lot of people are gonna like be mad at you for it. A lot of people are gonna fight you for whatever you have to say or whatever you're bringing to the world, or your art, your creativity. Don't let that bring you down. Like, keep yourself on the defensive about your perspective, because it's real, it's raw, and the only reason people are so like angry at you or defensive, or not of the reason people are so offensive and angry towards you because of your power is because they don't have that same amount of power. Like, they are not on the same level as you, so they feel like they have to compete with you, and that's not your problem. Also, it all starts, your anxiety, your being ungrounded and all over the place, all starts with you not moving on from situations. And being able to heal and calm down and ground yourself all starts with being able to move on from these emotional situations. I feel like karmically, a huge thing for you is letting go and moving on. And that'll help you ground yourself. Also, forgiveness, forgiving others who hurt you, and forgiving yourself for the hurt you've caused yourself. That's a huge factor and component in you calming and grounding yourself in the present moment. Hi, Pile 2. You chose this baseball bat pen that says Mitch on it. Some of you names might be Mitch, or you might know somebody who's named Mitch. Or your name could be Michelle, or Mitchell, or Midge. But anyway, what's the energy here? How does Pile 2 best ground themselves and calm themselves? Ballet of Disc in reverse. You're nobody's pawn, you're nobody's trophy, you're nobody's tool. That's your mantra. That's your grounding yourself mantra. You don't belong to anyone else. You don't serve anyone else. You are your own person. You belong deeply to yourself. 4 swords. 4 swords with 111 on the clock. Your thought process, or your ideas that you're bringing to the world are very significant. I feel like these ideas are a core part of who you are. So just like focus on that core part of who you are and where those ideas come from to ground yourself. Also focusing on your individuality and how far you've come as an individual all by yourself with nobody's help. That helps you ground yourself. I feel like you get a little bit like antsy, feeling like you're under the control of others, or you don't have as much control as you would like to, or maybe in the past you felt controlled by others. Just remember how much you struggled as an individual, all the lessons you learned, and how far you've gotten to be where you are now. Like right now. Like those choices, those actions that got you where you are now is what makes you the individual who you are. Nobody else made you that way. Nobody else made those choices for you. Nobody else kept that mindset and thought processes. Nobody else had those ideas. That was all you. You take the credit for that. Five of Cups reversed. We have 2 reverse cards here. Keeping your space tidy and organized helps you ground yourself. I'm feeling like clutter and mental clutter go hand in hand with you, Pal 2. So just like keeping your space organized, cleaned, and in a way where it's like a nice routine where you don't feel like stressed out by having to clean or declutter. Yeah. That's really beneficial to you because just like you need your space to be nice and pristine, to keep your mind clear. But at the same time, you can stress yourself out feeling like you have a lot of responsibilities with how you maintain your home and yourself. So just take it in a balanced way so you're not stressing yourself out. You tend to set high expectations of yourself because you know you can get a lot done, but back down. Do as much as you can and then wait one more day and do some more. Take it step by step. Don't try to force it all at once. Impulsive action is definitely not meant for you. I feel like that's a karmic cycle for a lot of you. You need to ground yourself because of impulsive actions that have caused you harm in the past. But not only that, you're an impulsive person. You just like to go with the flow. But you can also sort of jump into things without really thinking about it. So let yourself go with the flow, but be calm and patient about it. Like, have temperance. I know sometimes you can get bursts of energy and just want to like go, but when you do get those bursts of energy, try to channel that within yourself to have more temperance. Like, try to channel that into your balance so you can have even more intense balance, if that makes sense. It's okay to let loose and just express your emotions like that sometimes. But if you want to ground yourself, like in those moments where you want to ground yourself, try just letting go of impulsivity and taking on a balanced demeanor. For some of you worried about being too fidgety or that you move around too much, just don't focus on it. Like, I feel like you focus on it and then it bothers you. Just don't focus on it. Just literally just forget about it and it won't matter because nobody else notices but you. Yeah, just let yourself fidget. It's sort of part of your like personality. When you repress your fidgeting or you repress your like anxious little movements or expressions, it makes you more tense and it makes you more like anxious. So you can actually calm yourself and ground yourself by like expressing the tension outwards. I'm feeling like you have a lot to say, or like the things you have to say have a lot of weight to them. Just like, don't try and like be like, this is true. Don't try and like, just like take it slow, or even just say the bare minimum. Like, say as much as you can with as little words as possible. Because you can get a bit carried away with your speeches, when in reality you have a strong ability to wrap very complex ideas up in a way that make a lot of sense in a simple manner. So take advantage of that power, because when you're speaking more slowly, when you're speaking less, that is when you feel more grounded. Which is not to say you can't go off on tangents, but when you do go on those tangents and you want to keep a balanced mindset and you want to stay grounded, try and use as little words as possible. Only use words that are necessary, like absolutely necessary, to express what you mean. Don't keep repeating words unless you want to emphasize your point in some way. Yeah, be smart about how you use your language. You have very powerful manifesting techniques, pal, too. So it's really just a mindset thing for you. It's like good seeds bring forth good fruit, bad seeds rot your meat. So think good thoughts and you'll be good. Think bad thoughts and they're gonna come back to you and you're gonna be like, oh. Like, try and consciously accept that the bad thoughts are there, but don't put energy into them. Don't put energy into that negativity. Accept it, reflect on it, but don't put energy into it unless you're trying to channel it in some way. You just need to just stay like clear-minded, like as in your thoughts are clear and concise and not like confused. Don't give energy to a confused thought, or if you find yourself, you keep going in a loop of a thought of like, but I want this and I can't, like I'm trying to do this, but I can't do this, and you find yourself going in a loop with it, take a step back and let go of it, because if you try to revisit that, you're just going to get caught in the loop again. Instead, try to like understand those loops, understand those negative things, understand why you got caught up in that, and reflect on that instead of giving those things energy. Yeah, accepting that you're a student and that your entire life are meant to be seeing things from a learning perspective is very grounding for you. Because maybe you try to take on a teacher role, you try to take on an authoritative role or a parental role out of like karma or trauma response. But your role in this life is more meant to be of a learner and a student of the universe. Because you got spirit guides teaching you. You need to be open to that. If you're trying to teach other people, I mean, obviously, you teach other people with the things you learn as a student, you are. But if you're so focused on trying to help other people, trying to teach them, and not giving energy into teaching yourself those same lessons, then other people aren't ever going to get those lessons from you, because you aren't actually embodying those lessons within yourself. Yeah, just don't try too hard. Don't try too hard to like send a specific message out. Just do your thing. You're not really meant to like be a messenger. You're not meant to work or have a job where you're under somebody else's authority, or you have to what's the word where you have to like live up to or meet up to or like answer to, where you have to answer to someone else. That's not your life. You're meant to embrace your individuality and be your own boss, really. So ground yourself by gassing yourself up, like being confident, being like, I am my own boss. Nobody's the boss of me. I made all these decisions to get me here. These are my ideas. This is who I am. Nobody's stealing my ideas because they cannot be mimicked. They cannot be copied. You're also a person who cannot be tamed. If anybody's tried to like control you, do spell work on you, keep you in their lives energetically, blackmail you, steal from you, they cannot take your energy. They cannot use you. They can't. It's like nobody has that power over you. Whether you realize that or not, you need to tell yourself that. Even if you don't think that, you need to tell yourself that nobody has that power over you. Because that's what grounds you, is like reminding yourself that nobody can shove their negativity into your life. That's their negativity. And you have no reason at all to sit there and deal with that. That is not your problem. Yeah. You have been around the bend for people. You've bent over backwards for friends and relationships in the past. That is just not who you are anymore. Ground yourself by reminding yourself just how rare and special you are, and how nobody could ever live up to that energy or stand up to the energy. Like, nobody could hold a candle to your flame coming in with this negativity. If they're coming in with this negativity, they're immediately extinguished by your light. And it's just like, why'd you even try? If you're not coming in with this love, if you're not coming in with this respect, if you're not coming in with respect towards me and understanding towards love and me, like I'm coming with you, like I'm coming to the conversation towards you, then there's no reason for you to even be here. And you should accept nothing less. Ground yourself by telling yourself to accept nothing less than what you deserve. Maybe in the past you didn't get what you deserved and that really scarred you. And you can ground yourself now by telling yourself just how much you deserve, and that you can accept that. Like, you don't have to accept anything else but that. You don't have to accept shitty things or things that don't meet your expectations. You don't have to accept it at all. That's not your problem. You're only here for what you came for. And what you came for is the same love and light and energy that you're giving out. You're not looking for anything different. You're not looking for somebody to save you or help or do all the energy for you. Like, you're just looking for somebody who can meet you on your level and y'all can do y'all own thing together. Whether it's friendships, relationships, any relationship in your life. You want people coming with that respect because you know you deserved respect in the past that you never got. So ground yourself by reminding yourself that you are going to get that respect. You will get that respect because you will accept nothing less. And so that's why it's going to happen. You don't dwell on the past at all. 16:16 on the clock when I said that. You already are someone who doesn't dwell on the past. You move on. You're like, we need to move on from this. We need to think about the bigger picture. We need to be progressive. You can calm yourself and ground yourself by just reminding yourself how strong of a person you are in that way, where you can just like take a hit and then get up and move on. You can take a failure and then get up and learn the lesson. It's like you're not asking for nobody's help. You built that yourself. You went through all of those tough ass things by yourself. I mean, if that doesn't make you feel super calm and fucking confident and grounded, I don't know what else will. Hi, Pot4. You chose this necklace. This necklace chain, I mean. This can be your reading on how you ground yourself and calm yourself. Well, what's interesting about this pile is, like, there's a lot of hidden energy. This chain was, like, hiding in between the folds of the sheets when I went to do the reading. I'm feeling like when it comes to the passage of time and how much humans have come to understand how the world works, there's still a lot of inconsistencies. There's still a lot of things that just don't logically make sense. There's no explanation for it. And even though we have all this logic, all this scientific stuff, all of these theories and laws that make so much sense for other things, we still have these small inconsistencies that can't ever be explained. And that's where you come in, pile 3. That's where you are at, basically. Or that's where your sort of power comes from, or your fuel. Maybe you feel fueled by the mysterious energies of life or the unknown. You're not afraid of the unknown for sure, in ways where other people might be. How can pile 3 come to ground themselves? How can pile 3 take on a more calm mindset in general? And how can pile 3 accept this groundedness and calmness with confidence? We have the 7 of Swords. We have the 7 of Cups. We have the 10 of Cups. So this is definitely the darker pile of the 3. Or at least you, pile 3, are a darker person from the other 2 piles. You're more of like someone who can see both sides of the veil, or can operate in the shadow realm, or maybe you have like some sort of dark magic powers of manipulation of some sort. Yeah. No, yeah. For some of you, this is like a specific magic that's like a known magic. Like there's necromancy, there's mediumship, there's cartomancy, there's divination. There's like real magics out there, like named magics. And you have one for a good amount of you. I keep talking about magic, so maybe like not necessarily doing your magic, but writing down the process of it, or observing how exactly you bring out your magic would help you ground yourself more. Because your magic itself is very chaotic and not very grounding at all. But maybe try to write out the process of how you bring that out of yourself, or even just observe it if you don't feel like writing it down. Yeah, the energy of your magic is almost like a return to center, return to all that was, return to the originality of being. And I'm feeling like because of this, even though your magic is very chaotic, it's also the type of chaotic of like the chaos of nature. Like it's a natural type of chaos, if that makes sense. And I'm feeling like it's not apparent upon first glance, but if you like look into it and you really observe the process of your magic, you can see it's almost calming in a way. Or you understand a philosophical point or something that makes you more calm and feel more understanding and grounded of your place in the universe and life and reality. Yeah, because with 7 of Swords, you just have a powerful ability to manipulate things, and I know you know that. You've seen it happen firsthand, or like you just use your persuasion or your abilities or whatever to manipulate things into happening or manipulate people into doing things. And I'm definitely not saying there's anything wrong with that, honestly. To ground yourself and to stay more calm, focus on what you're trying to manipulate the situation into. Don't focus on what you're doing right now to make that manipulation happen. Don't focus on the details to make it happen. Your intention is already set. Just be confident in where you're trying to get the manipulation to go. Don't keep changing your mind. Give it a set direction, and just focus on that direction the whole time, and let the rest of it happen as it may. That's how you can ground yourself, really, because you're going to be doing this manipulation of events either way. It might just be a core part of who you are, so don't get too caught up in the little details. Just focus on the main trajectory of your intention. Because this is a mind game. This is something that happens in your head, and something that you use other people's thought processes to help you understand their mindset, so you can fix your mindset to make things happen better. And you do all of these little things so automatically, but when you're focused too hard on it, it doesn't happen the way you want to. So just sort of like focus on where exactly you're trying to get this manipulation to go, whenever you feel like you're losing control of your manipulation, your manifestation. Names. Look up the meaning of words. Look up the specific meaning of words in the dictionary. Because names are really significant for you, Pile 3. Maybe your name is really significant to your life path. Maybe you can use other people's names in some sort of magic you do. But names have power in of themselves. A name is what calls somebody or calls their energy to a situation. I just feel like it's either, for some of you, it's when you're speaking, the specific words you're saying, look up what exactly they mean so you can use them more accurately for your manipulation techniques or your manifestation techniques. And then for others of you, your name, like your written name, like your birth name, or alternatively your chosen name, for those of you who don't resonate with your birth name. For some of you, it's both. You have a chosen name and a birth name. Whatever it is, whatever name you resonate with or names, look up what those names mean. They're very significant to like who you are in your core being. And it's funny, if you can remind yourself of your name or of what your name means, you can ground yourself back to the core of who you are. You can calm yourself down by just reminding yourself of who you truly are. Some of you might have like very like obvious names like Stone or River or Tuesday or Faith or Amber. But it just feels like your name is significant for you, or the meaning of your name is significant because it actually feels like who you truly are. And remembering who you truly are helps you ground yourself. We have 2 sevens here. We have 7-7, the 7 of Swords, 7 of Cups. These are the more volatile and susceptible to change, rapid change, than the other 2 7 suits, 7 of Wands and 7 of Coins, because 7 of Wands tends to stay with its own perspective and stays defensive on that. And 7 of Coins is reflecting on past choices you made that cannot be changed. So those are sort of like fixed. These energies, Seven of Cups and Seven of Swords, feel more like all over the place, or really just up to your attitude at the moment or your emotions. If some of you are wondering if you could like escape a curse or escape the magic that you have or the manipulation powers you have, you can't. You can't do it. Don't try. Stop trying to worry about that. Stop worrying about needing to escape or feeling trapped or whatever. Just stop. It's not going to happen, and it's only going to bring you more mental anguish thinking that you can possibly escape. Because the truth is, you just have no other choice but to accept this part of yourself. Or let it tear you apart. Also, be very careful who you trust in terms of friends. I'm feeling like because of the nature of your magic or the nature of who you are, you can be a very scatterbrained person, or just like halfway in the material world, halfway in the spiritual world, like not all there, you know, which can make you a little bit more like susceptible to material influence. Which doesn't mean you're a naive person. It just means that like part of your whole essence is focused on the spiritual world, or is literally living in the spiritual world. So you can't focus your whole essence on the material world. So it makes you more susceptible to things happening to you. And because of that, you have to be very mindful, and very decisive on who you let into your life and who you let into your space. When it comes to animals, pets, people, strangers, family, friends, exes, relationships, especially intimate relationships, because you're a deep person, pile 3, and intimate stuff gets to you on a deep level. But just be really careful on who you let into your space, because it just affects you on a deep level. And if somebody else isn't having the right energy, it's going to fuck up your vibe. No matter, it just is. It just is going to fuck up your vibe. And there's nothing you're really going to be able to do about it until you get that person out of your life, which is going to be much harder to do once you've accepted these people into your space. So just be very selective. Don't be afraid to just reject people or turn them away because you don't like their vibe. You're meant to only be close or be understood by a few people. Your energy is a treat, and not everybody deserves it. Yeah, because the people who come into your life with this weird ass energy and they're tripping and stuff do not realize or care in the slightest how this affects you, or how much they are dragging you into their shit. And your energy is just too powerful and too valuable to be dragged into this bullshit that has nothing to do with your life path. So yeah, don't be afraid to reject people. Don't be afraid to cut people off without warning. And just staying mindful about who's in your life, and having the right people in your life will help keep you grounded. As long as you're staying mindful and making sure no negative people in your life, that'll help you be way more grounded than if you had those negative or toxic karmic energies in your life. And then the 10 of Cups. I feel like some of you need therapy when it comes to family. For some of you, you have like trauma associated with the word family or the idea of a family that needs to be healed. And that would help you be way more grounded on a daily basis. I'm hearing like you don't realize how much these family issues or family traumas affect you on the daily, affect your anxiety, affect your mood, affect your, ability to get up in the morning and be excited for the day. It just affects every little thing and you don't realize it. So therapy is a must for a good bit of you who feel like you're struggling with that. For others of you, you might not even struggle really with the idea of family. You just never really felt like you had a family. I'm hearing that like reassessing the idea of what family means to you is a huge component in you grounding yourself. I'm feeling like for a lot of you, you're meant to have a found family, which is basically a chosen family, or people who have actually worked to have a relationship with you and made sacrifices. Y'all have both made sacrifices together in y'all's lives, and y'all have helped each other through those sacrifices you had to make on your own. Like real relationships built off of real mutuality. And whether these relationships are a friend group, an intimate partner, or a few, even a new guardian or new authoritative figure in your life, or even all of the above. You might have these new people in your life who you consider yourself as like you love them the most, or if you were to call someone family, it would be them, but you're maybe a little bit afraid to accept that or fully accept that. Maybe you think it's like a joke, or like, oh, haha, we're family, ha ha ha. But like, really think about that. Like, those people you're the closest to, those people you rely on the most or talk to the most, that's your family for right now. And you just have to sort of reassess what family means to you in your relationship to family in general, not just your family, but the idea of having a family, and how you would contribute in a situation where you had a healthy family. And if you're still in a situation with a bad family, then how can you best adjust to where you're minimizing the damage that your family wants to do to you, or has done to you, or can do to you, by separating yourself however you can or you need to, and reflecting on why that's important to be caring about your own safety and your own mental health more than your family, even though they might say, I've been there for you for so long, you owe me, you have to do these things for me, even if it makes you uncomfortable, because, you know, it's all just bullshit. You know, if you don't feel happy or you feel uncomfortable with the family you have now, then that might not be your real family if they've always made you uncomfortable or always made you unhappy like that. And it's okay for you to accept that they're not your real family and that you never had an actual real family. It's okay for you to accept that, and that might actually help you a lot to be able to calm down and ground yourself, because I feel like a lot of your anxiety can come from your family, or your lack of family, or feeling like you need a family, or you're not operating in your family dynamic correctly, or you could be doing better, or is there not like a family out there for you? I just think there's a lot to do with family here, and you just need to reflect on what's wrong there, what you need to change, what you need to happen, and how you can get those things to happen, who you can talk to help you feel like more safe in your unhealthy family space, or help you get away from an unhealthy family space, or who you can talk to be like, hey, so are we a family? Does this make us family? If we are a family, what does that mean? How do we contribute to each other? How can I make you feel more seen and more loved? And these things sound silly or cheesy, but sometimes it's a conversation that needs to be had to make you feel more reassured of your place in other people's lives and how you can help them. And alternatively, their place in your life and how they can help you. And of course, there's only so much y'all can do for each other. there's only so much a family can do for each other. Everyone has to help themselves. But a family, deep down, is there for support, there to help each other grow and learn lessons. And I'm feeling like you, Pal 3, really need a family. You need that support in your life to make you feel more grounded or more calm. And if you do already have a healthy family like that, talk to them more, appreciate them more. Not even just appreciate, just have gratitude, and maybe try to express your love towards them more. Maybe not even that, just reflect on the family dynamic, what makes y'all a family, how each person contributes to one another, and try to be mindful of what each of your family member needs. Each of your family members that you care about, be mindful of what they need to feel safe and grounded too, so you can help them feel safe and grounded. Because I feel like not only do you need a family that supports you, but you want to feel like you have people that you're there for, to just support and love and be there for. I feel like a huge part of you healing in your soul is being able to have a family, or have people in your life like a family who you feel like they need you. You feel needed, you feel like you're giving something, you feel like you're actually there for a reason, you feel like you're actually supporting them and being supported in return. And I feel like that would really just be the key and the lock to help fully just reassure you and calm you of there's this one thing in your soul where you feel like would feel more reassured and calmed if you reflected upon.